Hello. Hey, this is Chris Kapsner. Just finished my shift. I'm an ER doctor, emergency medicine physician, and I've just spent 7 hours here in the ED, and this is what we wear every day with every patient encounter. So this is your PPE. This is my face shield. I'm going to tell you right now, it feels good to take this off. And this is the N95 that we wear. And so, welcome to COVID Central, COVID Madness. It is the season. It's a little bit like Mr. Rogers here. So, with that off, I want to tell you a little bit about the new horror of COVID. And as with any great horror movie, the coronavirus, or more specifically COVID-19, exhibits all the criteria for an excellent monster, because it's mysterious and it can strike without any warning and kills with indiscriminate devastation. What makes the coronavirus worthy of any Stephen King novel is its mystery and ability to harm otherwise very healthy people. And the other ingenious terror is that we don't know whether we're carrying it or not. And so right now I could be carrying the virus. I've been out, and I know I saw at least one COVID patient today with it. So because we are can be asymptomatic carriers, the sad reality is I can bring this back to my house, to our schools, or sadly even strangers in a grocery store. And the other quandary we're in is that this monster seems to appear like a well-known friend, the common cold, because you have all the signs and symptoms of a simple virus with fever, cough, muscle aches, headache, and then all of a sudden it inexplicably ravages and trashes your lungs and causing your lungs to collapse, gasp, and eventually smother you. As an emergency physician, I get to have a front row seat to this unfolding drama. And at first, I have to say I was optimistic. I was pretty optimistic that we would not have the same fate, the same dire consequences that was seen in China, Italy, or Iran. Perhaps our American exceptionalism would protect us, and that the power of the federal government would be harnessed to test and prepare and protect the country from the devastation of this demon virus. This clearly did not happen. And over these last few weeks, I've developed a deep respect for this new adversary, this new monster, this unseen foe. Last week, it's about almost 2 weeks now, I intubated my first COVID patient. And typically these intubations are like machine work, like a fine clock. So this is where we put a plastic tube. I unfortunately don't have one with me. We put a breathing tube into the patient's lungs to support their breathing. And usually we do this in a patient who's in a coma, can't protect their airway, or has other serious lung problem. But when you're doing this with a COVID patient, everything changes. The seamless communication that normally happens disappears because we're wearing all the PPE, and the rooms can be loud because of the negative pressure, and that fact that you cannot hear and that you cannot speak effectively really throws your game off. So this is extremely disorienting and distressing. And needless to say, it's also disturbing to see an otherwise healthy middle-aged person having such great difficulty breathing. This is profoundly unnerving. So despite the fact that I was in a PPE with that N95, that face shield, the gown, all the things that you just saw, I also had a gown on and gloves, but because this is considered such a high risk, you feel naked. And the reason it's high risk is that when you're intubating or bagging a patient, you can get a large viral load up into your face, and you can inhale that, and this is thought to be the cause of numerous healthcare worker deaths. So after that intubation, I walked out of the room and thought I was covered head to toe in COVID, and I wanted to dip myself into a vat of hand sanitizer. If that hand sanitizer would have been there, I would have dove in. So I washed my hands, my face, my neck with soap and water. I think I even grabbed some hand sanitizer and applied it to my neck. And then I began to wonder, well, was this really the right thing to do? Or should I have just left it alone? Did I just wash the virus into my face? And so next time I thought, I'll put that astronaut suit of a PAPR on and wear that. So a PAPR is a big hood. You do look, it's like a hazmat suit. So I have to tell you that this scares us. This is a big change, and when you see a healthy person become so compromised, it is appropriate concern. So this demon virus has taken everything that we've taken for granted away from us. I was definitely afraid that I was going to give it to my family, my friends, and so now I've isolated myself. And if I do go and see my family, I have an N95 on, and we're staying at a quote-unquote safe distance. And so all those things that we all took for granted, having lunch with our friends, going out for dinner, all that social interaction, human connection that we all need and took for granted is gone. So this is our new reality. This is love in the time of COVID. The COVID-19 monster has also revealed numerous weaknesses within our disaster preparedness, and clearly demonstrates that we do need a robust public health infrastructure that protects us. That's part of our safety and is necessary for security. And clearly, COVID has disrupted our supply chains and our the economic viability of this country. So by not investing in universal health care, things like paid sick leave, broadband, caches of PPE and ventilators, and COVID testing, which we really should have had, and that would have helped us both identify where all the hot zones were and also allow us to better protect the rest of the country. So we've seen how this virus has wreaked havoc on our health and economy and our future. So let's not allow politics to get in the way of common sense. Let's not let politics take something that should be preventable and better managed, and because we haven't done our due diligence, hundreds of thousands of Americans may die. However, as humans, we've seen pandemics, we've seen the plague, and we will survive this. But there will be other pandemics that threaten our security. There will be other things that disrupt our prosperity: climate change, cyber attacks, growing inequality, and lack of social cohesion. These are all things that we face. Tax cuts and dysfunctional government are not solutions to these real problems that every person in this country now encounters. So it's time to get back to basics. It's time to invest in healthcare, invest in public education, infrastructure like broadband. We need good environmental policies to protect our air and water. These are common sense fundamentals that will protect all of us against the next monster. So like all good horror movies, when you think you've vanquished your demon, when you think you've conquered your monster, it returns. So my question for all of us is, will we be ready? So ponder that, and thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Stay safe and stay sane.